My name's Jon Fell and I'm a chef lecturer here at the Keswick Cookery School. My food philosophy is keep it simple. I love my fish and the best advice I can give to you is just keep it simple. My favourite dish, my ultimate favourite dish, and it's my comfort dish that I always go back to, and that is a fish pie. There's no mess, just some lovely fish in a lovely white sauce covered in creamy mashed potatoes. You can't beat it, that's for me. Right, today we're going to be cooking a beautiful piece of salmon. We're going to get that skin lovely and crispy. The flesh is going to be so delicious, and I'm going to serve that with some green beans and finish it with some potted shrimps, smidgen of cayenne pepper and some chopped herbs. Absolutely fantastic. Right, I'm going to cook something fantastically delicious, but also something very simple. I'm going to cook you today a lovely piece of salmon. The idea of this is I want to prove to you that cooking isn't difficult. It's going to be so easy. This is going to be 10 minutes from start to finish, and I promise 10 minutes. That is all. So all you people out there who say this is really difficult and you haven't got time, haven't got the ingredients, this is going to be so simple. Beautiful piece of salmon. I just want to cut just one piece of salmon, so we're just going to cut that off because this is all I want for today. Okay, look at that, absolutely fantastic. Smells lovely and fresh, and is lovely and fresh. So there's our salmon. All I'm going to do, and the reason I'm going to do this, I'm going to make 2 incisions into the skin. There's a couple of reasons really. The reason I do that is going to help crisp up that skin because I'm going to season it with some lovely salt. But the other thing is it's going to evenly cook the salmon. Once we put the salmon into the pan, the heat will evenly distribute through that salmon and cook all the way up really nicely. So what do I need to do? First thing we need to do is we need to oil the salmon, just a little bit of oil. And what you're going to notice today is I'm going to oil the fish. I'm not going to put any oil into the pan at all, because what you'll see, and you guys will have already seen this on TV a lot, is that the pan is red hot, okay? There's too much oil in there, so it all starts to spit all over the place. But I want to show you this. It just wants to be lovely and gentle, okay? I'm just going to put a little bit more oil on there. And this is just a rapeseed oil. No, nothing special, just a lovely rapeseed oil. We've oiled that fish. The next thing I need to do is just season it. I'm just going to put some salt on. There's no pepper. I don't want to put any pepper on it at all, because the pepper will burn, and that will burn in the pan, and that's not what we're after. We're just after some salt on there just to season that up nicely. Into the grooves. Okay, so just get some salt into the groove. It will flavour the fish, give it a fantastic flavour, but it'll help us get that crispy skin. Now, as I've said, I'm not going to put any oil into that pan at all. Okay, I'm just going to soak up with this salmon, soak up the oil and salt. I've already got my pan on, and it's just on a moderate heat. You will hear a slight sizzle when we put it in, but not a ferocious sizzle and no spitting or anything like that. So in gently. There you go. You can hear it, but it's not, as I've said, there's not a ferocious heat there. It's not spitting, it's not jumping out of the pan because of the heat, and it's not all that skin shriveling up or anything like that, because what we're after is a lovely, crispy piece of salmon skin, but the flesh, we want it to be perfectly cooked and just delicate when we cut into it. And this is the best way of doing it. So if anybody tells you different, you can say that I said, but this is really a good way of doing this. It's going to cook, and as you can see, it's just doing its thing. I'm not lifting the pan up, I'm not shaking that pan. I'm just going to let that fish do exactly what it wants to do. And this is the same process with any fish that you want to get a crispy skin on, whether it be a fillet of sea bass, a mackerel, something like that. Just oil that skin, season it with a touch of salt, and then into a moderately heated pan, and just let it do its thing. And just to prove to you also that we don't need 100 different pans to do so many jobs, I'm also going to serve it with some green beans. So this is just a one-pan wonder. It's a one-pan dish, one-pan meal. So for all, you've got plenty of time, you can do it, and trust me, it is so simple. The other thing that I'm going to use is some of these lovely, and they already come potted, some lovely, delicious Morecambe Bay potted shrimps. And these shrimps are cooked. They're cooked in seawater, usually out at sea. Okay, so they're already cooked. They're then peeled. And these are just mixed with butter, some mace, a little touch of nutmeg, a good pinch of cayenne pepper and a squeeze of lemon. And this is what we're going to use to create the sauce to go with our salmon. So it's going to be a lovely buttery cayenne pepper, nicely spiced, not too hot, nice, and give it a lovely heat. And that's going to be the sauce that's going to go with this salmon along with the green beans. And then just to finish it off, we'll put some herbs in. We've got some lovely basil and we've got some flat leaf parsley. So we'll just chop that up nice and finish that right at the end. If you take a look, you can see the fish now. It's starting to change colour, starting to lighten at the bottom already. That is exactly what we're after, okay? It's cooking from that bottom and it's cooking up. So we're going to cook it about 3/4 of the way up, then turn him over, and that's when we'll add our beans, and we'll give those a minute and a half to cook, because we don't want soggy beans. We still want the beans to have a lovely crunch, or al dente as we chefs like to call it. And then just when the beans are cooked, we'll put these lovely Morecambe Bay shrimps in there with all that butter and all that spice, and that's going to be what we're going to coat the beans, coat the salmon, and that's going to be our sauce. I'm really, really happy with this now. We've got a lovely, lovely crispy skin. I'm just going to turn this piece of salmon over. Now look at that. That is just absolutely fantastic. I'm really pleased with this. I've got the heat still on a moderate heat. I'm going to move the salmon to the side, and I'm going to put these beans in. I just want these just to cook through, all right? I'm not looking for a soggy bean. I just want these to be nice and crunchy, nice and crispy. I'm going to add just a knob of butter just to help these beans on the way. And as you can see, butter's just melting, lovely. And I'm now going to add these fantastic potted shrimps, and they're in that lovely butter, delicious butter that's flavoured with that nutmeg, mace, okay, and lemon and some cayenne, just to give it a nice warmth, a nice hit. And I know that this is going to taste absolutely fantastic. As you've seen all the way through this, I've not moved the pan, I've not shook it, I've just let it do its thing. And now, while the beans are just cooking, I'm just going to lift my salmon out, because I'm more than happy now that this salmon is going to be cooked. So I've just lifted that off, just to rest, just to do its thing. Okay, just move the beans around a little bit, just so that they're cooking nice and even all the way through. So I'm really happy with that. And don't forget, these shrimps are already cooked. We're just warming them through. And that's exactly what we've done. We've got some lovely, delicious, we've got the lovely, delicious butter in there. And I know that this is going to be absolutely fantastic. And it is so, so simple. 10 minutes and you're done. I'm just going to move my pan off the heat and turn that off. So now we're ready to plate up. So I've got my plate, okay? And this is the best bit now, because we know that we can eat, and that is what this is all about. I've got my beans with my lovely butter. I'm going to pop those into the centre. And these are still going to have a lovely crunch, a lovely bite to them, which is exactly what we're after. Okay, so we'll pop those in there like that. Delicious. We're going to lift our salmon up and just pop that on top, like so. And just to finish, just a few herbs. I've got some flat leaf parsley. Also, I love this stuff, this Greek basil. And we're just going to chop these up roughly. We're not after anything spectacular. We're not trying to break any culinary records. We're going to finish a squeeze of lemon, and this will lift those flavours even more, lift the flavour of the salmon. Finish off with the rest of these shrimps, these delicious shrimps, like so. And then some of this fantastic parsley and basil. So there you go, perfectly cooked salmon, crispy skin, absolutely delicious. What more could you ask for? Go out there and do it. 10 minutes, start to finish.